Well, I would guess that most of you listening today have gotten a call or a voicemail from a government agency threatening you with a no bail arrest for some reason that makes no sense to you. I'm Lori Wilson, President and CEO of your local Better Business Bureau. And today we are launching our newest study on government imposter scams. And joining me to talk about this issue are Rod Amari, Special Agent in charge of the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration's Western Field Division. Rod's office conducts independent oversight of the IRS, and their mission includes investigating IRS impersonation scams. And Tracy Linge, Communications Director for Social Security Office of the Inspector General. I'm really grateful that both of you were able to join us and share your expertise. These imposter scams are some of the most common frauds that we see these days. As always, scammers take advantage of us at every opportunity, and today it's the pandemic. For example, Rod's office tells us that they have reports of calls supposedly from the IRS offering to help expedite COVID-related small business loans and asking for bank information to facilitate the loan. Needless to say, instead of depositing the money, they're stealing it. This is major league fraud. According to FTC, people have reported losing $90 million each year over the last 5 years. And that's just people who've taken the time to report it. So let's work quickly through how these scams work. It starts with an unexpected phone call from a government agency telling you that someone will be there shortly to arrest you. Caller seems legitimate. They give you a badge number. They likely have or pretend to have personal information about you. Don't be fooled by their caller ID because they're easily spoofed. And of course, you can avoid jail time by paying a fine immediately. They like to keep you on the phone while you drive to the store and buy several gift cards and text them the numbers on the back. Doesn't really matter how you pay them because if you do, you will end up losing your money. There are so many variations of the imposter scam out right now. Typically, the IRS scam says there were errors on old tax returns and you owe more money. The Social Security scam usually says you rented a car which was found in Texas with blood and cocaine in it and you're wanted for a crime. You may have a warrant for your arrest for missing jury duty or you're being offered a free government grant. Always you're asked to give them money through gift cards, wiring funds, or through a payment app. Recently, they've started asking people to mail cash. The coronavirus twist is that scammers pose as the CDC calling to ask for a donation, or they send an email supposedly from the CDC with links that are actually malware. You might see a text, email, or social media post with malicious attachments or links claiming to be from contact tracers, telling you that you may have come in contact with someone who's tested positive for coronavirus. There are also calls from someone claiming to be an IRS agent and they can speed up your stimulus payment. So they want to get personal information from you to help you out, and instead they're redirecting the payments, your payments, to their accounts. And why do these work? Well, first of all, many times the caller ID tricks you into feeling safe. Secondly, the callers often have some kind of information about you which enhances their credibility. And thirdly, in most cases, they're threatening you. They're threatening you with arrest, and so we get scared and we don't think clearly. Most of the fraudulent calls are coming from India. There has been some law enforcement success, not as much as we'd like to see, but in January, the Justice Department filed 2 cases against gateway carriers in the US that helped international scammers get their internet calls here into the US and also help them spoof the caller ID numbers. These cases, along with pressure from both the Federal Trade Commission and the FCC against other gateway carriers, have been responsible for a sharp drop in robocalls this year. Most importantly, how do you avoid getting hooked by these crooks? Get off the call. Just don't talk to them. Be informed. Most agencies do not randomly contact people by phone, and 0 will accept payments with gift cards. If you are genuinely worried, look up the number for the agency yourself and give them a call. If you do get ripped off, it's really important to report it. Now, let me introduce you to Rod Amari, who can dig deeper into the IRS scam. Rod?
Thank you very much. I'll give you a little more information on what my agency has been doing. Since October of 2013, we've been tracking and investigating various IRS impersonation-related scams where people are trying to extort money from individuals. Between October 2013 and March 2020, we've logged over 2.5 million contacts with taxpayers that have received various impersonation scams, being IRS impersonation related, SSA, Social Security Administration related, grants, schemes, everything, coronavirus scams. It just covers the entire gamut. This is a wide-ranging scam that actually touches every state. The highest states we've seen with suffering financial damage: California, New York, Texas, Florida, and Illinois. Specifically, California has an excess of $16 million in impersonation-related scam that people have lost. A big part of it, like you said, doesn't start from India. As of January 2020, TICTA's efforts have resulted in 182 individuals being charged in federal court for impersonation-related crimes. 93 of these individuals have been sentenced to over 390 years cumulative prison time. Specifically, since the CARES Act was passed in March, TICTA has received a large amount of fraud related to economic impact payments. And these scams include impersonation contacts offering to assist with impact payments or stimulus payments, theft of stimulus checks directly through the Get My Payment portal, and theft of stimulus checks through the mail, actually. We're working hand in hand with U.S. attorneys' offices across the board trying to get these individuals prosecuted. The key with all these scams, as you've already described, is they will contact you by phone, threaten you, tell you there's some kind of arrest warrant out for you, and try to get you to send them money via wire, which is the old way to do it, send them cash, or get some kind of gift card and give them the numbers on the gift card. Let me emphasize, no government agency accepts payments of gift cards for anything. Gift cards are exactly that, they're for gifts. The government does not take gift cards as payments, iTunes cards as payments, or anything to that effect. And a lot of times they will have some of the taxpayers' information, some of their PII, their personally identifiable information. So they will scare you into believing it's real. Let me emphasize, the IRS will never contact you about a stimulus payment, about taxes owed, or anything like that via a telephone call. They will always contact you by mail first. If you think it's fake, it probably is. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Always hang up. If it seems legit at first, ask for the person's name and callback number, and then call the IRS 800 number to verify the information to see if it's really the IRS. Don't call the number back they give you. I've personally been touched by the scam. I actually receive scam calls at my desk at work claiming to be the IRS regularly, and my name and phone number has been spoofed where people use my desk number, call someone down the street pretending to be Rada Mari from the Treasury Department. And I've had people walk into my building looking for me to pay me the taxes that are owed. So these people are very smart in what they do. And once you're victimized once, you will be on a list to be victimized forever. So be very vigilant providing any information over the phone. The government and the IRS specifically will never contact you by the phone and will never threaten you with an arrest warrant if you don't pay on the spot.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ron. Tracy, what can you tell us?
Thank you, Lori. I'm happy to be here. And thanks to you and the Better Business Bureau for doing your part to educate the public. I am Tracy Lingy. I'm Communications Director for the Social Security OIG. Our mission is to improve Social Security and to enforce federal laws relating to Social Security. So we have jurisdiction when somebody impersonates SSA employees. So as Rod described, for the last decade, government imposter scam phone calls have been a scourge on the American public. I think they've eroded the public's trust in government, and they've caused financial and emotional harm to their many, many victims. Last year, the most common of these scams were those that misuse the good name of Social Security. So the Social Security OIG has undertaken a national public outreach campaign working with SSA, other government agencies like the Federal Trade Commission, and private sector entities like AARP and the Better Business Bureau to educate people about how to recognize and avoid Social Security related phone scams. Among other efforts, we're working with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service to place scam awareness posters in every U.S. post office. You should be seeing those appear soon. We've also dedicated significant resources to investigating the scams, partnering with other agencies like the Treasury IG for Tax Administration, of course, the Department of Justice, U.S. Postal Inspection Service, Homeland Security Investigations, and others. Just 2 weeks ago, one of our investigations resulted in charges of money laundering and conspiracy against a husband and wife in the Northern District of Georgia. They allegedly received over $400,000 from scam victims and delivered it to perpetrators up the scam leadership chain. We are working closely with law enforcement partners on a number of these types of scam-related cases, and we're hoping to announce more results in the coming months. But unfortunately, no matter how many calls we stop, there will be more scammers and more calls. So the best thing we can do is to continue to raise public awareness. Our key messages are Social Security do call people. Social Security employees may call people occasionally. That's typically in connection with some business you have with the agency. You might have just filed a claim or you're completing a disability review. If somebody calls you unsolicited about a Social Security number or Social Security benefit related problem and you have no idea what they're talking about, it is almost certainly a scam. These are extremely common and pervasive. Government agencies won't call you and demand payment by gift cards, cash, or other hard to trace methods. Don't ever pay a government fine that way, as Rod said. Social Security will notify you of a debt only through the mail, and the letter will provide you with payment options and appeal rights. And Social Security will also never threaten to arrest you due to an identity theft problem. They will never offer a protected bank account to move your money into, and they will never tell you to keep quiet about a problem they're calling you about, or to make up a story to tell store employees or your family. We encourage everyone to discuss major decisions of any kind with your friends and family and share scam awareness information with friends and family as well. Scammers use really sophisticated tactics to mislead people, so victims should not feel ashamed. They need to come forward and report the crime. We at Social Security OIG have established a dedicated online scam reporting form. It's available on our website at oig.ssa.gov, and that captures valuable data for us to analyze and take action on. We have received over 500,000 scam complaints just since last November. So thank you again to the Better Business Bureau, and thank you for your attention to this important issue.
Well, thank you very much. Any questions, Alicia? Have you got any questions for any of us?
Yes, one quick question for Agent Amari. You mentioned about scammers and stimulus payments. Are you able to go into specifics about the tactics they might be using to try to swindle people out of their stimulus payments?
Rod, you're muted.
Thank you. The world of Zoom. What's happening is taxpayers are being contacted by scammers telephonically, and they're telling them that they want to help them get their IRS stimulus payments. So they're getting the individual's identifying information, Social Security number, and various information, especially for senior citizens that may not have filed. And then they're going in and they're going into the IRS portal and changing the information to get the payment redirected, for example. That's one way they're doing it. Other ways is they're telling people they're getting advances on the stimulus payment, and they're trying to get them to pay for fees to actually obtain these in advance. So we're seeing quite a bit of just the good old-fashioned impersonation scams that are taking place with people falling for them. Another thing we're seeing regularly is actually theft through these checks in the mail. The IRS is going to be issuing over $100 million paper checks. And these are being stolen through the mail in response to the act. So we're just seeing an increase across the board with calls, emails, and other communications from people claiming to be from the IRS giving assistance for the economic impact payments. The thing to emphasize, never give out your Social Security number, never give out your banking information over the phone. The government will not ask for that.
Thank you.
And also taxpayers can go on the IRS portal to check to see where their payments are. And if they're running into any issues or have any complaints, much like Social Security Administration, we have a dedicated website that's tips.tigta.gov where we're fielding these, and we're seeing hundreds and hundreds of complaints a day coming in. So we're actively working these. I can tell you through our law enforcement partners with Social Security Administration and the U.S. Attorney's Office, this is a high priority and does have a high degree of interest in prosecuting these individuals. So we're moving very quickly on these, much more quickly than we have in the past. There's great communication and coordination across the board on these.
That's terrific. Any other questions?
That was it. Your notes were very thorough, so I was able to get a lot of great sound from all of you.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Rod and Tracy, for your valuable insight. Great information that you shared. For those of you listening, use the websites that both Rod and Tracy mentioned. Reporting these scams is really crucial to stopping the problem. You can go to bbb.org/scam studies to look at either get a summary or download your own copy of this study. And be sure to report any scams that you hear about at bbb.org/scam tracker. I want to thank everybody and wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.